A wrestling movie that you don't have to watch wrestling or even be familiar with wrestling to enjoy, set in some sort of alternate universe where Cersei Lannister is attracted to Nick Frost from Shaun of the Dead. I'm Robert. This is Robert's Real Feel. Fighting with My Family is an early 2019 release, written and directed by Stephen Merchant and starring Florence Pugh, or Pug, not sure, as Saraya Knight, aka female wrestler Paige, along with Nick Frost and Lena Headey playing her parents, and Jack Lowden starring as her brother. The Rock is also in this film. He's prominently pictured on the poster. He's not prominent in the film, but he does have an important role. But one of the other more memorable performances in this film is that of Vince Vaughn as the coach. What a great film. Let's talk about it. Okay, so this is a film that tells the story of professional female wrestler Saraya Jade Bevis. They have her last name as Knight in the film. I'm not sure, whatever the reasons. Regardless, this is Paige, the wrestler that the story is all about. When I was a little kid, I used to watch wrestling, and the stars of the ring back then were the Von-Erik brothers, the fabulous Freebirds, Andre the Giant, the Kubuki, these freaks that I used to like to watch. But I haven't watched wrestling since then. That did not stop me from loving this movie. So in a nutshell, Fighting with My Family is the story of a wrestling family from England in Norwich, make sure you pronounce it right, who had something of a rough and tumble past. Paige's brother was the one who was really gung-ho about becoming a part of the WWE, and he had his dreams dashed when Paige was accepted and he was not. So that really sets the tone for the movie, and a lot of the story is about his feelings of rejection and inadequacy and impending doom with regard to his future. So overall, it's a very dramatic film. It does have a good deal of comedy in it, but there's a great element of fish out of water that I believe most people will be able to identify with on some level. The acting is pretty top-notch all the way across the board in this film. So her story is trying to fit in this world that she's never experienced before. That sort of outcast feeling that she's experiencing is what's going to really connect with mass audiences, I believe. Overall, this film is a really great time. So that brings us straight to the scores. First, the story. As with most things based in real-life stories, I'm sure there was probably some artistic license that was taken in this case. But I think they did a pretty good job of trying to stick to the main bullet points of Paige's story and putting out a very easily digestible product. I'll give it an 8. As for integrity, I'd say this film sticks to the plot really well. There's very little filler. And again, it gets an 8. As for innovation and uniqueness, this is an underdog story, and we've seen it before. And it's not new or groundbreaking, but they presented it well. I'm going to give it a 7. As for casting, I think they did a wonderful job. It's getting a 10 for casting. And as for visual impact, it's a sports film. The sports scenes, the wrestling scenes were interesting. The beach training scenes were also very interesting. I love the presentation of it all, so I'm giving it a 9. Which brings us to emotional effectiveness. Fighting with My Family made you feel the way you were supposed to feel at specific points in the film. It did its job. There weren't any real moments of revelation in the film. You could see things coming, but nonetheless, they were very well executed and presented. I'm giving it an 8 for emotional effectiveness. Now, as for endurance and rewatchability, I could easily see myself watching this film again, maybe more than one time if I could just find a way to add about 10 hours to every one of my days. It's going to get a 7. It's a great film, easily rewatchable. So when I throw all these numbers into my very complicated algorithm to sort out my score, it comes out with an 8.0 out of 10. A very good score. I really like this film, if you can't tell. So I'd like to hear what you thought of the film. If you haven't seen it yet, you should. But if you've already seen it, please tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Please like my channel, subscribe to it if you don't mind, like the video, and if you would be kind enough, click the bell icon as well so you don't miss out on any content. Thanks again for watching this. And also in the comments, let me know if there are other sports films or other specific films that you would like to see me review. I would be very grateful for the input. Thanks again. We'll see you soon on Robert's Real Feel.